Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Devontae, aka Vaunt, coming to you once again live from the Red Room, here to give you guys another video here on hashtag Imperial TV. Now, I know I have a serious glare on my glasses, but we're gonna have to deal with it today, guys, because I have worn contacts for 3 months straight, and my eyes need a little break. So I'm gonna be rocking the glasses today. I do apologize. I'm going to try to minimize the glare, but this is what we got. But yes, before we get into today's video, where we will be talking about the amazing new Disney classic, Cruella, I need you guys to do a couple of things for me, and I think you already know what it is. I need you guys to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that way you know everything that is going on here at hashtag Imperial TV. Now, without further ado, let's get into this video. Okay, now, first, I have to just say, wow. Like, when I tell you, in my opinion, this is my opinion, but when I tell you Disney did the thing on this movie, I really feel like they really did an amazing job with the whole concept of giving you the origin story of Cruella de Vil. Because, when it came to 101 Dalmatians, she was just there. She was the evil villain. There was no backstory. We didn't, really know who she was. So with this remake, we got that. We got the backstory. We got to see how Cruella actually came to be. Now, this is just a review, so I'm not going to spoil anything. I'm going to try not to spoil anything. But I do feel like it's definitely a movie that everybody needs to watch. So like I said, they dove into the origin story of Cruella de Vil. And the way they went with it, it kind of reminded me of what they did with the Maleficent story. They basically gave her an entirely new story, so to speak. There are still, hints to the storyline that is already there for who Cruella is, but they went kind of the same route as Maleficent, where it's like, she's not necessarily evil, but she's not necessarily good either. So I did like that aspect, and I do kind of like that Disney is kind of keeping this going with reimagining the villain story. Now, anybody who knows me knows that I am a movie buff. I love movies. I prefer movies over television. Don't get me wrong, I do have my television series that I love to watch, but movies is really more so my thing. I think because it's just like a constant thing with movies, like it flows, and you have your timeline, and it flows, and it just goes on. With TV series, I feel like, I get aggravated with having to wait till next week to find out what happens, especially when they leave you on a cliffhanger. So, movies is more so my thing, and I've seen a lot of movies, but I can honestly say the plot twist of this movie, it took me by surprise a little bit. I can honestly say that. The thought was there in the back of my mind, but I didn't think they were actually gonna go that route, because it just seemed a little too on the nose. But then again, not necessarily, because they really kind of shrouded you with other things to kind of keep your mind distracted when they actually dropped the boom and you were like, oh my god. Now, when it comes to the actors who portrayed these people, first of all, I feel like Disney, which Disney usually does, did an amazing job with casting the people, especially with the way they chose to tell her story. So I really feel like they really captured the essence of the way they want to portray the characters with the actors they chose for each individual role. Of course, I was a little nervous at first But Emma Stone showed out. Emma Stone showed her behind. I'm telling you, there was so much depth, which I always liked Emma Stone, but I was a little thrown off a bit when I found out that she would be playing the young Cruella. But once I watched it, she's Cruella. And I love the way, I mean, Cruella is Cruella, but I love the way, I guess you can say, she kind of paid homage to the way Glenn Close set the tone for who Cruella was, and I guess in like a live action version. So she really did her homework, and I mean, I guess it really wasn't too hard because Glenn Close was an EP on the project. So yeah, I'm pretty sure she got that one-on-one time, but the way she took what Glenn Close did with Cruella and gave it that homage, but then also gave it a modern flair while still keeping it set in the time period it was set in, I felt like Em did an amazing job. She really did. Like I said, I don't want to spoil stuff, but the way she was flipping back and forth with this character and just giving you scene after scene, it's like you just got so invested in it. Like Emma did an amazing job. Emma Thompson, who's in this movie as well, she did an amazing job as well, and it's just the way they played off of each other. It was just a spectacle to watch how they just played off each other. Emma Stone and Emma Thompson, they really did an amazing job with their parts. Two, to keep going with, how they did the characterization for this movie, I also loved how they switched up our preconceived thought of who Roger and Anita were, also who Horace and Jasper were. They really developed them in a different way, and they made us view them differently as well. They really also played with the relationship between Cruella and Horace and Jasper. They really expounded on that and really went deep as to, their origin story. So you really got origin stories for not just Cruella, but for Horace, for Jasper, for Anita, and for Roger. And I really enjoyed it. And like I said, they went the Maleficent route with kind of retelling the story, but in a different way. So the way they spun the relationships of the people, it was very interesting to watch. And I'm not sure, I haven't read anything, because it just came out. So I'm not sure, if Disney plans on doing a second one. You know how Disney is. Disney has everything locked and loaded. So I'm not sure if they're going to do a second one, but if they choose to do a second one, it will be very interesting to see what they do with the further development of the relationship of the characters, because where it is now, it's a big stretch from where 101 Dalmatians shows you their relationship is at. So I'm not sure what Disney got going on, because the movie does, at the end, it does set you up to, I guess, be a sequel. If they want to do a sequel, it sets you up for that, and it also gives you like a, I never knew this is how that came about, or this is how that happened. So they set you up to give you a part two or a continuation of the story. So I'm wondering if they choose to go that route. Are they going to try to tie it back in to where 101 Dalmatian picks up, or are they going to keep going with what they've set up? Because what they've set up kind of already breaks that. It's kind of like how Marvel did with their movies, where as far as they told the comic book stories, but they just told it in a different way because it's boring to retell the same story. When you already kind of know what's going to happen. I mean, of course, this is not a retelling. This is the first telling of her origin. But it's like, okay, if I just basically set you up for 101 Dalmatians, it's like, what's the point? Because you already know what's going to happen. So it'll be very interesting to see if they do a second movie. And if they do a second movie, where that story is going to go for these characters. Before I wrap up this review, I have to talk about the fashion because, I mean, of course, you know, it's Cruella DeVille. Fashion was her thing. So I have to talk about the fashion. The fashion was a freaking one in this movie. Like everything, because because it is a period piece as well. So everything down to the timeline and how they dressed, and then how they dressed and how everything existed in the high fashion world in that era, in that city. Everything was A1. And then Cruella's fashion was just like, baby girl was on it. Baby girl was on it. Emma Thompson's character, the Baroness, her fashion was A1. Like everything was A1. It was almost like a Devil Wears Prada with a Disney stamp on it. Like the fashion was everything. I mean, from the reveals to the wigs to it was amazing. I said it was amazing. I really enjoyed the movie. Like it is, I think, like 2 hours and some change long, but I was locked in the whole entire time. There was not a time where I was like, all right, where we going with this? Like I was engaged. Like I said, for me, I was engaged. But I mean, other people might watch and they may not feel the same way. But for me, I feel like Disney did an amazing job with Cruella. I feel like they are on the start to something like really, really good. I honestly hope they keep going with reimagining the villains' stories, because it's like it's like in life, period, whether you're a hero or a villain, really is all about perception. And I really feel like that's what they're playing with here. Is like, okay, anybody can be considered evil, anybody can be considered good. It's about what you know about that person, what you know about their backstory, because it's like that age-old saying of like, you never know what somebody's going through, or you never know what somebody has gone through before they gotten to this point in their life. So yeah, Disney really doing some stuff. I mean, but Disney always doing some stuff. But I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Definitely check it out. Get your own personal feel for the movie. See if you like it. See if you think it's something hot, or if you think it's not. But for me, it's hot. And yeah, so I'm about to get on up out of here because I have things to do. Have a full-time job. And I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Bye.